At exactly 10:52 p.m. on April 24, 2021, a phone in Lenawee County, Michigan, sent one final message. It was just a single letter, K. That tiny message would become one of the most haunting clues in a mystery that tore apart a family, a community, and exposed years of hidden abuse, control, and betrayal. This is the story of 52-year-old Dee Warner, a mother, a businesswoman, and a woman who refused to live in fear any longer. Dee Warner wasn't just another name in a missing persons report. She was a mother of 5, a successful entrepreneur, and someone deeply rooted in her hometown. For generations, her family had lived in Lenawee County, surrounded by farmland and small-town familiarity. But as Dee got older, those same fields began to feel less like home and more like a cage. She was married to Dale Warner for 15 years. Together, they built businesses, raised children, and managed multiple properties. But behind the walls of their home, things were not as they seemed. By April 2021, Dee had made up her mind. She was leaving Dale. She'd had enough of the lies, the control, and the emotional abuse. On Saturday, April 24th, Dee woke up knowing what she had to do. That morning, she had a salon appointment. Her esthetician later said Dee had been crying, her eyes swollen, her hands trembling. She was upset, scared, but also determined. Despite everything, she scheduled another appointment for the following week, a small sign that she was planning for a future beyond her marriage. Throughout the day, Dee visited her older children. Her son Zach said he immediately noticed something was wrong. She had been crying, clearly exhausted. Still, she tried to keep her day normal. She even took her youngest daughter, Angelina, to a soccer game. But that night, the tension between Dee and Dale boiled over. They argued over business, over money, over control. Dale's employee, Todd Nienick, was also involved, a man Dee believed was betraying her behind her back. As the argument grew more heated, Dee made one crucial decision. She told her daughter to spend the night at a friend's house. She wanted to protect her, just in case. By nightfall, Dee's fear was evident. She had told friends and family that she was done with the marriage, that she wanted out. And just before her phone went silent, she sent one final text to a friend. Her friend asked, "How are things going?" Half an hour later, Dee replied with a single letter, K. And then, nothing. By sunrise, Dee was gone. According to Dale, she had fallen asleep on the couch after their argument, and when he left for work at 6:30 a.m., she was still snoring. But by 9 a.m., Dee's daughter, Rickle, arrived at the house for their usual Sunday breakfast, and something felt off. No one answered the door. The house was quiet. And then Dale appeared, holding something that shouldn't have been in his hands. Dee's wedding ring. He claimed she'd left it behind on his desk, but her daughter knew better. Dee never took that ring off. Dale said she had packed a travel bag and left, taking her purse, curling iron, and hairspray. He even told police she had a secret phone. But both of Dee's vehicles were still at home. Her phone, bank accounts, and social media were silent. Nothing about her supposed disappearance made sense. By that night, her phone had completely shut off, and the woman who spent her life connected to her family through work, messages, and love had vanished. To understand what happened to Dee, you have to understand the world she lived in. For years, Dale Warner had been controlling and manipulative. He installed tracking devices on her car, cloned her phone, and isolated her from family and friends. He wanted control, not just over her life, but her mind and her finances. When Dee tried to leave in 2020, she told a friend that Dale turned into the devil and wouldn't let her take their daughter. She said, "I literally thought he could kill me." Her words would turn out to be prophetic. By late 2020, Dee had begun showing signs of physical abuse. Her business manager recalled seeing a large bump on her forehead, an injury Dee tried to hide. She said she didn't want to leave her daughter alone with Dale. By the time April 2021 came around, Dee was trapped in a toxic cycle of fear. But she was planning her escape, and Dale knew it. When police began investigating Dee's disappearance, Dale's behavior raised immediate red flags. He didn't organize search efforts. He didn't call for help. Instead, the very next day, he changed the security system passwords on their property, locking out anyone who might access footage from that night. He also hired a lawyer, not a private investigator. And as the days turned into weeks, Dale started taking over Dee's business. Investigators later discovered that he had forged legal documents, transferring her assets into a new company he secretly owned, all while Dee was still considered missing. By August 2021, he sold her business entirely, pocketing the money. It wasn't just theft, it was erasure. Meanwhile, Dale's employee, Todd Nienick, the same man involved in their final argument, was caught logging into company systems at 3:30 a.m. the night Dee disappeared. He used a fake name to record the transaction, moving materials from the Warner farm to Indiana and then to Chicago. No legitimate reason for that timing or secrecy was ever found. Private investigator Billy Little uncovered shocking details, including conflicts of interest between law enforcement and Dale's associates. Piece by piece, it became clear Dee hadn't run away, she had been murdered. After 2 years of silence, the Michigan State Police finally had enough evidence to act. On November 21, 2023, Dale Warner was arrested for open murder and tampering with evidence. He pleaded not guilty. Dee's family had suspected him from the start. Her brother said, "We just wanted answers, even if they were bad. Not knowing was worse." The arrest brought a small measure of relief, but there was still no body. Dee was gone, but her family couldn't grieve properly. Then, in August 2024, investigators received new leads. They returned to one of Dale's properties on Paragon Road, just 4 miles from where Dee had lived. Inside a barn, they discovered an industrial anhydrous ammonia tank, the kind used in farming. But when they opened it, what they found was horrifying. Hidden inside the welded metal tank were human remains. After 3 years of searching, Dee Warner had finally been found. She'd been there the entire time, concealed in a piece of equipment that had sat in plain sight. Her body was recovered on August 17, 2024. 5 days later, the Jackson County medical examiner confirmed her identity. It was a moment of both relief and devastation for her family. They had answers, but not peace. Dee Warner's story is one of strength, fear, and betrayal. She was a woman who built a life, raised children, and created a business, only to be trapped by the person she trusted most. Her final message, that single letter K, still lingers as a silent witness to what really happened that night. A message that said nothing, but meant everything. Today, her family continues to fight for justice, for truth, and for the legacy of a woman who deserved so much more than what she got. Because behind every case like this one, every missing person, every unexplained disappearance, there's always a voice trying to be heard. And sometimes, that voice sends one last message before it goes silent forever.